Welcome to the Strategic Cybersecurity channel brought to you by NKFP. If you are new here, thanks for tuning in. We are glad to have you. Today we are going to make a summary of the main focus of this channel. The main focus of this channel is to address cybersecurity, to talk about cybersecurity at a strategic level. So far, we say that there is a shortage of cybersecurity professionals worldwide. Therefore, that is a critical business issue. Our focus was the financial vertical market in the first time. The financial vertical market, we divided in two. We have the small and medium business side and so microfinance institution, basically, and traditional banks. For microfinance institution, we have a quick overview of the trade landscape for the past 20 years for microfinance institution. We talk about the data breach that impact microfinance institutions all around Africa. We talk about the critical assets of microfinance institutions, their profit centers, and we also demonstrate how the trade landscape can cripple the critical operation of the microfinance institution. We did the same for traditional bank. The critical assets, the profit center, that trade landscape, and how the trade landscape can affect the critical operation of traditional banks. Also, we say that within the organization of this organization chart of this organization, they must have either a full-time CISO or a part-time vCISO who is going to lay out the cybersecurity strategy of the organization. Let me be clear. A CISO is an executive that is responsible for the cybersecurity strategy of an organization. This is, and we said also that, just as a quick summary, it's worth to mention that organizations that are winning the cybersecurity game have a strong cybersecurity foundation. And the key pillars of this foundation, we can rate them at A+. What are those key pillars? Those pillars, we have asset inventory, configuration management, and change control. With this strong foundation, we can guarantee that if we are almost sure that a breach will occur. But if a breach occurs, the damage will be minimal because your critical assets will not be part of that data breach. On the next topics, we can also say how the CISO, what was the evolution of the CISO over the past 20 years. That will be the last point of this episode. 20 years ago, in the beginning of the year 2000, there was a lot of organizations were putting on place networks and have those networks connected to the internet in the years 2000. You remember the years of the internet bubble? Many people were configuring router switches. At that time, people who have the expertise to configure firewall, IDS or IPS, or deploy corporate antivirus solution, they were viewed as the security experts. That is the first generation of CISO. This first generation of CISO, they have no strategic level knowledge. So they were viewed as the cybersecurity expert at that time. Beginning of the year 2010 up to 2015, we have a second generation. That second generation came when we have a strong regulatory laws that was imposed, especially on the financial sector. We start to view organizations who want to be compliant to frameworks like ISO, CSF, or PCI DS, for example. This second generation of CISO, basically, their cybersecurity strategy was put in place to be compliant to a framework. This is the second generation. But at that time, like with the first one, that cybersecurity strategy was not aligned with the business goal of the enterprise. The third generation of CISO, beginning of year 2000 up to now, the landscape has drastically changed. The CISO now has to be like a marriage counselor between the security team and the strategic business executive. So now the cybersecurity strategy must be ingrained with the business. Cybersecurity will no longer view us with the two previous iterations as a cost center, but as a business enabler. So the paradigm has totally changed from the first iteration to the third one. Let me take an analogy to describe it. If you have a cake, you have flour and sugar. At the end, when the cake is baked, you cannot tell the difference between is it the flour or the sugar. With the first two iterations, you can have a pie on top of the cake. Cybersecurity for the first two iterations was just like a pie. If you remove the pie, you have no cake. For the third iteration, cybersecurity is ingrained. So the flour and the sugar are part of the cake. At the end, you will not know that there was a sugar, there was a flour. This is how CISO of the third iteration of CISO, this is how they view cybersecurity. They are proactive executive with key security metric that they can translate cybersecurity into business language for the executive and translate business orientation or goals to the security teams. We conclude this quick summary, this quick roundup of this quick summary of all these episodes that we have broadcast so far. And in the future episode, we're going to dig more into the intricacy of the job of the CISO, so that you will know exactly, you have a holistic view of what is required, what are the soft skills, how do they work, what is the key metrics. We are going to address it in the future episodes. Stay tuned. Thank you.